All right, today we are gonna be unearthing something amazing. This week was really interesting. I had two different people that did not like their calories based on the stories they were telling themselves, and the calories were vastly different. So in our community webinar, there was a maintainer that was sharing she has lost all this weight. She is doing well keeping it off. She has learned how to eat high volume, low calorie dense food, and her maintenance calories are 1550, and she's very jealous of other people's calorie amounts, that she feels that is too low for her, and that number seems off compared to everybody else. On the flip side, coaching client has not tracked calories in a very long time because she gets freaked out by it. She was willing to track. She averaged 3,100 calories. She lost weight over the course of the 2 weeks, but she was very uncomfortable with that 3,000 number. She started searching out other people, went into all these different chats and forums and things, looking to see, could anybody possibly, other than maybe eating this amount of calories to lose weight? And she couldn't find anybody, and it really bothered her. Two totally different numbers, both people mentally struggling. What does that tell you? Is it the number? I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think any number you are given or your body tells you is the right number, you will have an issue with based on the story you tell yourself and based on comparing yourself to other people. If I told you right now I can eat approximately 8,368 kilojoules per day, you wouldn't have any thoughts or feelings about it unless you're in the UK or Australia, because you don't understand kilojoules. You would be like, what are you even talking about, Heather? What's 8,386 kilojoules? I have no clue what that is, because you don't understand it. All the negative stuff that goes on in your head, if it was in Chinese and you don't speak a word of Chinese and all you heard was Chinese talk in your head, guess what? You'd have no problems because you don't understand it. So what I'm basically telling you here is, we take information we think we understand, we make stories about it, and then based on those stories we like or we dislike. But here's the reality. All a calorie is the amount of heat required to heat 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Is that really something you want to get upset about? It makes no logical sense. And what we're doing is we're arguing with our bodies. Your body, your heart beats 50 times less than Sally Joe over there. Do you have an issue with that? No, you don't, because you haven't made stories. You don't care about it. Like, you don't care. You don't sit there and monitor your heartbeat and compare it to everybody else's heartbeat, right? You don't sit there and say, oh, I think I blinked an extra 20 times today. I think that's ridiculous. I should be blinking as much as Jane over there, not less or more, the exact same. Do you hear how crazy this is, right? Yet we get ourselves into a bunch. And what I pointed out to the maintainer was, wait a second. When I look at the beginning of this question or this issue, you've lost weight, you're happy, you're healthy, you're maintaining. You've learned how to eat in a way to where you're satisfied on 1550, yet you don't like it. And there are people who could eat double the amount as you, not feel physically satisfied because they do not have those skills, not, be happy with what they've done, not have lost the weight. So we can be totally wonderful, really. But because we don't like a number, we're going to let that unravel us. On the flip side, my client who's desperately seeking out finding somebody else who can eat 3,000 plus calories a day and lose weight, and feeling like she's somehow an oddball out because she is in this realm, what difference does it make? That's what her body is letting her lose weight on. It won't stay that way. Just like the 1550 won't stay that way. Your body changes over time. So the reason I'm talking to you about all of this, right, the kilojoules, the 1 gram of water, 1 degree Celsius. First off, this is all science, which isn't really about feelings, but So we have that to contend with, and then we have the stories we tell ourselves. Why not say, hey, awesome, I get to eat blank calories because that's what my body needs to either maintain or lose weight. See, one of the things I do, and this probably disrupts a lot of people, I don't really depend on calorie calculators. I do what we call biofeedback loop. You eat at a calorie amount, 2 weeks or so. We see what happens with your body weight, and we let your body tell us how many calories you need. We don't pretend to know because we don't. Your body is so much more intelligent, it's so much more in tune than you and I will ever be when it comes to that kind of stuff. It knows. And think of it super logically. If you maintain your body weight on 1550 or whatever the number is, that means that if you eat that amount of food, you should not be feeling overly hungry or overly stuffed. You should feel just right, right? But the physical sensation of being satisfied is not the same as the mental feeling of being satisfied. So if in your head you think, oh, well, what about all the desserts I'm not going to get to eat? And what if I have to be careful on Thanksgiving? And and all about the future, all about what you can't have, all about what you're losing out on. Of course you're going to feel unsatisfied. With those stories you're telling yourself, it sounds pretty miserable, right? But if you said, 1550 feels good in my body. I actually feel satisfied. I actually, don't ever feel overly stuffed. I don't ever feel overly hungry. I feel just right. Then what difference does it make what number it is? Convert it to kilojoules. It'll make you feel better. It really doesn't matter. It's just a number. If we lived in a time before they discovered calories, you would just eat until your body was no longer hungry. If you ate past that point, your body would become heavier. And this also goes back to you always have a choice. You can eat what your body requires to maintain and maintain your weight, and it changes over time. Or you can eat what you mentally think you should deserve and have. So let's just say somebody thinks that I shouldn't have 1550, I should have 2000, the same as Jane over there. Okay, great, eat it. You'll gain weight, and then you'll be at a heavier body weight. And guess what? Your new maintenance calories probably will be what Jane eats. So you can change your body weight, you can change your maintenance calories. That's your choice. You have that choice. No one's going to rob you of that. Just like if you chose to eat less than maintenance, if you decide to eat less than 3,000 calories, like what my one client is doing, she wants to lose weight. You always have that choice. And I think often we think, oh, well, I'm stuck with this. No, you're not. I actually have seen some people on Instagram that have reverse dieted. They've intentionally increased their calories. They've also increased their body weight, and they're okay with that. Like, you have a choice. You don't have to eat what your maintenance is. You can exceed your maintenance. You can actually go above it, and your body weight will increase, and you will be at a new maintenance level. It's always a choice. But the reason I want to have this discussion with you, it's not really about the calories. Because again, if we converted everybody to kilojoules, first off, there would be a huge learning curve. It'd be like if we went from miles to kilometers, right? But two, what would happen is there'd be less comparison because you don't understand that system. You don't have anything to compare against. So first off, you'd be happier. Oh, I get to eat 8,686 kilojoules. This sounds amazing. No clue what a kilojoule is, but hey, it sounds amazing. And what would happen is you would be completely oblivious to what that really means. And so thus you would be happy with it again. And so you can change your mindset by changing the story. I get to eat. Notice how I term that, by the way. I get to eat 1550 calories a day to maintain my new, healthier body weight. And I'm super good at cooking high volume, low calorie foods. And I get to enjoy trying new recipes and doing things, and my body feels satisfied. What is there to be upset about? Nothing. But yet we try to do that. So quiet the part of your brain down that's making up stories that make you uncomfortable. Stop seeking out comparison, because here's the other thing on comparison. You might look at someone else's calories, but unless you are doing every single thing that person's doing, you have their metabolism, their genetics, their DNA. You literally do the exact same thing. You're never going to be the same. So why would we compare one piece of data unless we are going to compare all pieces of data. And again, in your mind, if it helps, convert it to kilojoules. Completely change how you think about this, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's like you're trying to mandate how much blood pumps through your veins, how much oxygen your body is requiring, how much urine it produces. Like, you can't control those things, so let it go. Focus on what you can control. Eating appropriately, learning new ways of cooking, starting to move yourself forward in this journey, but don't let comparison and jealousy take all of this away from you. Because really, we're talking about a gram of water, 1 degree Celsius, is really not worth it. You see what I mean? I'm gonna give you some links to what we wanna call science, so you can see more about kilojoules, calories, what all this really means, so that way you can be a little bit better equipped with all of that info. You guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.